Hi everybody, welcome to CCTV, Channel 17, live at 525, Preservation Burlington Show. Preservation Burlington is a nonprofit 501c3 organization, and our mission is to preserve and protect the architecture, historic architecture and livability of Burlington through education and advocacy. I think we do a lot of that. I apologize to everyone for being a little bit late on our startup just now. I realized on my way over here that the students are back and there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, it is officially fall.
It's officially fall. There's a lot of traffic and people are in Burlington. So, I mean, which is great. I mean, you know, with construction and everything that's been going on in town, it's been a challenge. So it's nice to have people here.
Yeah.
I just have to account for that in the future.
I know sometimes I drive across Burlington, I forget, it's not going to take me 30 seconds. It can take 15, 20 minutes now.
I know.
If not more, yeah.
You know, I'm doing a project up in your neck of the woods.
Yes, how's that going?
It's going well, but I need to give myself 30 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, that's it. I'm done complaining about traffic.
Okay.
We're scheduled one of our fellow board members, who shall remain nameless, who's been putting on our award ceremony for the past several years and doing an amazing job, and we're going to talk about it, but apparently it's their birthday or something and they can't be here. So even though I'm not going to name names, I would like to say happy birthday to Devin.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, so it's actually the second annual version of the event that we are doing this year, right? So last year was the very first fall meetup, which Devin organized and is taking the lead on again, and it's really exciting. It was really well received. We had students from the UVM Historic Preservation Program come down and present sort of poster sessions on their research, and I think they're doing that again this year.
Yep, for sure.
So that's going to be really great. I'm really excited to see how that goes.
It'll be fun. I mean, last year we had a bunch of sister organizations, if you will, had tables. So yeah, we have a table event. It's catered. Main Street Landing again,
yes.
Right?
Yep. So it's on October 15th, Wednesday night. Doors open at 5 for a little social hour, so that you can see all the posters, the tables, the presentations, have a little food, and then the awards will be in the main auditorium, followed by our speaker for the evening.
And who's that?
That is going to be Glenn Fay Jr., a local author, and he's going to be speaking about his book, His Hidden History of Burlington.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see that, because last year we had Bob Blanchard talk about
Lost Burlington.
Lost Burlington, and
which was just the focus on his conversation anyway. I know the book is a little broader than what they talk about, always is, so you buy the book.
Right.
But Bob was mostly talking about buildings that were lost to fire or something, right?
Lost to fire or demolished. There were a few that were taken down, right? It was incredible how many are gone, how many we had, and he showed some really great pictures of the streetscapes before and after. So that was really enlightening. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from Glenn.
Hidden histories.
Yes.
Yeah, and what's been going on.
Yeah, love that stuff.
So that'll be pretty fun. I mean, I know that the incoming class at UVM is larger than the last year's class, but we have at least 2 or 3 students showing off what they did. I know we had one of them at Shelburne Museum for the summer. They're doing their presentations that same day in the morning. I know you'll be there.
Absolutely.
Everybody else.
Do you have a sneak peek for us for topics, research topics?
For which? There's 2 presentations.
Yeah, for those.
Well, Shelburne Museum. So Eileen, whose last name I'm forgetting right now, I've run into her. She was a great student. She came on for 6 weeks at Shelburne Museum, and she worked with the painters. She was largely doing window restoration on the EHW, the Electra Havemeyer Webb Memorial Building at the museum, which it was in dire need of. So that was a nice push, and she worked with Brian Verville, one of our painters at the museum.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm sure she'll be talking about that, and as always, there's lots of funny stuff going on when you...
Funny haha or funny?
Both. Funny peculiar and funny ha-ha, you know.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. The other students' presentation I'm not sure of. I don't know. I haven't met them yet, so I don't know what they were doing. And we also had Lisa, something or other, who's an incoming first-year student, but she's transferring into the program probably this year. But she came on also at Shelburne Museum, and she worked on the Ticonderoga for 6 weeks.
It seems to be a really interesting path. That's kind of how I got into preservation myself. First I bought an old house, then I wanted to learn how to take care of it, and then I talked my way into a preservation carpentry internship at Strawberry Bank in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Oh, cool.
It was so cool. And then I was like, oh, the next logical step is go to grad school, go for historic preservation. And that's how I ended up here, and just falling in love with the historical, the built environment and architecture and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
it just has a way of like yanking you in.
Oh, my wife Amy calls it the Burlington and biblical cord. You try to leave. She came here for college also, and then went to Siena in Albany, and then missed it and came back. You know, so finished up her semester and came back here and stayed forever.
It has a power, this city. Over us, yeah.
I know, and also the fun part, I mean, so I've been here since '98, and almost immediately, pretty quickly, keyed in on the historic preservation program, because there's always interested young people who are bright and love old buildings. So, you know, while they're getting the whole nuts and bolts and Section 106 and how to, the ins and outs of of preservation, they're not getting their hands dirty. So I've always had a willing batch of students come to work for us.
It really is important, because unless you're actually handling it and you can see how it's constructed, you really have no concept of that, and then how to repair it, and then be able to have a discussion around keeping it intact or maintaining it or preserving it, repairing it.
Yeah, I've really felt lucky and blessed to have that pool of students come through, and you know, it doesn't even matter their level of experience beforehand. We're happy to teach. You know, it's a teaching
Well, you taught
shop.
in the program last year, so let's talk about that, because we haven't talked about it. What was your course? What would
Architectural Conservation 1.
Perfect.
I team taught it with Alex Tolstoy and Elliot Lothrop, which was great, and we parsed that out. We took it over because Tom Visser was on sabbatical. His syllabus is insane. I don't know how he touches on all that stuff. It's incredible. So we tried to chunk it out into pieces, parts, and have our classes. By and large, it was very stressful for me because I was out of my comfort zone. I mean, I teach all the time to get things done, but not in that context. And I really, really felt the pressure to give the students something, you know, something concrete that was, because it was a class per thing, you had to touch on everything. You know, I dragged my friend Dave Okalita, this historic mason. He taught a whole class with me sitting there. It was like this show, you know. He was talking and I was pitching questions to keep the kids engaged.
So you were the plant.
Yeah. So, you know, by and large, I loved it. I really did enjoy doing it, and I think we had a good group of students. I think we had 6 or 7 students.
Is there a practical component of that class, or was it all theory? Like, did you get to go and explore Burlington and show some of the historic buildings?
So each of us, the 3 of us, tried to do a little of both. You know, and this was, thank you, it's an interesting, fun segue. So we tried to have both, you know, so we lectured, and then I brought the students to my shop, and we physically worked. Will Gansel was a second-year student who was working for me at the time, and he got to lead that shop class where everybody got their hands dirty and cut glass and glazed some windows and did some of the things we do there in the shop. And then I also had a day where we were at the museum, and I dragged in Nancy Ravenel. So it was a mix of lecture and walking around and touching things and doing stuff, you know. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun, I think.
So what cool new projects are you working on in your shop? Or what kinds of windows?
You know that I'm okay making everything about me, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've never talked about you, and I'm really curious to obviously see, like, are you working on any cool buildings in Burlington, or have you touched any?
Yeah, we're doing some stuff. We mentioned right before we got online that we're still helping the owner of the Wick House up at Apple Tree Point. That's been a 4-year project where they've cycled through different people, but the entire time I've been there helping them self-manage their project and try to wrap it up. And we're on the first floor working our way out, and we're so close right now. So that's really good. We have 2 young people, friends of mine. They're friends of mine, they're children of a friend of mine, have moved to Vermont, and they're working in our shop on window stuff mostly. And then we have a ceramicist from Montreal who moved to Burlington area, and she loves old buildings and loves to learn about stuff and wants to go deeper into carpentry. So I've been working with her. So it's myself and Amy in the shop with 3 apprentices, students, who are all, again, like most of the people we end up with, really engaged. So the projects would be Apple Tree Point, the Warren Town Hall. We just finished restoring their front doors, and we're putting those in and waiting for some modern lock hardware stuff that's making me crazy, but that'll be done. And a lot of buildings, cedar storm windows for historic buildings in and around Burlington.
How many opportunities are there for people who are interested nowadays, you know, to go and get practical education in some of these preservation techniques or building techniques that you're teaching in your shop?
A lot, but it's varied and spread around. You know, I mean, if you think about Job Corps and Youth Build, and you think about the
But
Vermont
specifically preservation related?
Tech Center, Youth Conservation Corps, which is timber framing a lot with Elliot Lothrop works there, is contracted with them, and he's heavily involved there. Judy Hayward met with myself, Elliot, and the director of the Vermont Youth Conservation Corps to try to see if we could drag all these disparate people and different venues or efforts together and coalesce.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened yet. So the short answer is no, nothing. The broader answer is lots. But there's not enough combination, and there's not enough cross communication and pollination, you know. So that, from my point of view, has been frustrating. So we do our little bit, and I step in anywhere we can. But for years now, I said the state of Vermont needs to hire a volunteer czar, right? You have all these groups that are trying to train young people, and you have all these granges and town halls and all these places that need work done. You could just have a pile of work and a pile of people, and then somebody to coordinate the two.
Right. There's a little bit of like teaching the people the skills at first, though, right?
For sure.
You can't just give anybody a hammer. It's not like a Habitat for
No,
no
absolutely,
offense to Habitat
absolutely,
for Humanity,
and that's a great organization.
Yeah.
But no, you do. But you know, Youth Build already has some people teaching. You just have to have whoever this czar would be. You have to have this person saying, "These are the skills you want to focus them on, and we can put them to work here." You know.
Anything that you might take on? No.
I've told everybody about it for 20 years, and it's, you know, and I hope somebody kickstarts it, or, you know, Jamie's at the state, Jamie Dugan. He and I have worked together, and Will was splitting his time between them and us, want to make a restoration. So, you know, our fingers have been in the pie, and my fingers have been in the pie for a really long time. And I know that we have great people that you went to school with, and Elliot and Jamie. Alex is out there. I'm not sure what he's doing right now.
And Devin, and that's actually, speaking of people, we would love to get more people on the board. And how are we going to get them involved? So anybody listening out there today, we would love to get more people in Preservation Burlington, join our board, join some of our committees and our working committees, volunteer. There's going to be opportunities coming up. Are we doing a cemetery tour in October?
Sure.
So that's going to be great. So if I know one of my favorite parts has always been like dressing up in character and doing a tour.
I was just thinking we haven't done that in about 2 years. That was fun because all the board gets involved with that.
Yeah, we've done that at 2 cemeteries, right? We did that at Elmwood as well as Lakeview. Have we ever done it at Greenmount?
Not yet, but Greenmount is the one that we're doing this this October. I know Ryan's working with Jason from the East End people, folks.
The old East End.
The old East End group. They have the best sticker, you know.
They do.
He's working with them, so that's coming up soon. But yeah, back to what you brought up. We definitely were. I mean, we've been on the board for a really long time. We're a hands-on working board. It's not like you're on a board and people are doing all the work for you. So we're all doing it.
You're really selling it.
And the opportunity for getting involved doesn't mean a board member, because we have committees that have tons of volunteers. For instance, Matt Viennes runs the Home Store Committee, and that rests for a little while now. But come December, for sure, they start working like crazy to line up the houses and work with people and get volunteers organized. That's a good one. This being part of the education committee, super fun one.
Yeah, and the fall meetup. I'm gonna have to wrap my tongue around the new name, but that one's a fun one too, because we get to go out into the community, see who's been doing preservation projects in a bunch of categories. So remind me what the categories are.
Well, there's spirit of preservation, and that's somebody who's just maintained and lovingly, usually people that have been in a house for a really long time, and it's just, they take care of it.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people don't realize that just maintaining your home is a form of preservation.
Preservation
and a really
is
important
maintenance.
One. Yes, yeah, 100%. Okay, so spirit of preservation.
So, and then there's, of course, residential, institutional, and commercial. Those three are larger projects that happened within the past 3 years. And because especially residential, sometimes we know you buy an old house and it takes several years to complete the thing you wanted to do. Right, it's never done, and then you start over again. But so those are the three major categories. Then we have outbuilding. Burlington has well over 200 listed outbuildings that are contributing structures to the historic registry. So anytime somebody, those awards, they're hard to come by. They're in the back of a property. You don't notice that somebody did something, You
really have to stop and look and sort of peek in people's backyards. But when you actually are looking for these outbuildings, there are some magnificent ones out there. I love them.
Stickly style. There's beautiful buildings out there that people, or John Wadhams was on the show because he saved his little 1920s one-car garage, basically. The doors slid on a track like this, and he lifted the whole thing up. Frost walls, new foundation, replaced the sills, dropped it down, and replaced the clapboards, on the bottom, restored it to what it was. It was incredible. And now it's like a 3-season workshop for him. He ran 220 power to it. He didn't want to talk about how much it cost to do it. And it was still fairly, I'm not going to say numbers, but it was reasonable to save a building and have that structural thing there.
And have a piece of history, right? And I think a lot of people really discount these outbuildings. And by outbuildings, we mean garages or carriage houses or even small, not little sheds necessarily, but things that have been part of the evolution of that property. And there are some really, really beautiful, little adorable ones even, and some are just magnificent. You look at them and you're like, wow, that's even better than the house.
We watched one come through. So my own carriage house has been restored and turned into a housing unit, a minor PUD, but you can get accessory dwelling unit status, and you can get permitting for these. And one in the Five Sisters was another one of those. I love them. They're hip roofed or jerkin roofed little structures, one car garage or a car and a half kind of garage, and they turned it into an accessory unit for their house, you know.
I love that. It's creative, it's adding to housing stock, and it's also saving the structures.
Doesn't change the neighborhood, saves a historic structure, you know, all those things. So we'll hopefully we'll see more of that in the future, but we're going to see some of those at the annual meeting, you know.
So I'm excited to see who those awardees are and learn a little bit more about them and their projects. And
that's always fun. Devin, I mean, whoever was not here tonight will.
He who shall not be named.
right. He's going to give us our marching orders. So we each get one of the projects that we get to talk about. So if there's a connection, great. If there's not, you get to learn about that project. And it's always fun introducing the owners, you know, and they come down, they're all house proud and they get their little plaques.
And they should be. You know, it's a big deal.
Yeah, if you drive around Burlington, you'll see the Preservation Burlington square green one, because usually there's a house that has that marker already.
Right.
And then right below it sometimes or next to it is a little gold one. Yeah, the little brass one that's, you know, so that's kind of cool. And those are all the people who've been through the years won their awards, you know.
Awesome. So I guess I'll see you there on October 15th.
Yep.
October 15th, starting at 5 p.m. at Main Street Landing.
And our friends from Myers Bagels, you know, that run it, they'll be catering it again.
That's the only reason I go is the food.
They're amazing, you know. The spread they put out.
Yeah.
So we tried to get them to, you know, they're going to probably do a little bit more finger foods because they go overboard, and but we'll see. I mean, it's going to be good. It's always good.
Time it's free and it's open to the public, and come on down.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yep. Main Street Landing. All right. Thanks, Devin. I mean, thanks, Lisa, for helping.
You're welcome.
shoot the breeze about our upcoming awards.
Preservation breeze.
Next month we have the Lake Champlain Committee on talking about lake health and how that, you know, preservation of our ecosystem and climate, how climate impacts all of these things.
I'm looking forward to that conversation. Yeah, because there's a lot to be done there, especially now.
And we will firm up November, December, because of the holidays. We're going to be a week earlier than normal, but it's YouTubed and streamed, so that doesn't really matter. So as soon as I leave here, I'll be contacting those guests to make sure they're good with the earlier date, and we'll line that up and we'll put it on the website.
Absolutely.
You know. So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to CCTV Live at 525 in our Preservation Burlington show. For more information on Burlington history, tours, events, or to get a marker for your historic house, or maybe get an award, go to preservationburlington.org, and we'll see you next month. Thanks.